When we imagine a circus, we think of it as a place to go to enjoy yourself, have a great laugh, and be amazed by the amazing tricks done by the circus entertainers. But we forget that in the process of entertaining people, these performers risk their life, as some circus acts are unpredictable and can turn into a horrible disaster. Number 5. Thomas McCart, or better known as stage name Zarty, was a lion tamer, famous for losing an arm during one of his acts but still continuing his career as a circus performer. On January 3rd, 1872, at his show in Bolton, England, he was attacked and killed by 4 of his lions near the end of his show. It is said that the first lion grabbed him by his hips, while the second lion bit through his ribs, and a third one tore his scalp open. When the police managed to scare away the first 3 lions, a fourth one snatched him and pulled him into his cage. Authorities finally managed to grab a hold of Masarti. They then took him to the emergency room, where he eventually died from extensive blood loss and shock. Number 4. I'm sure you've all wondered how lion and tiger trainers can manipulate such ferocious animals into doing tricks for them while remaining unharmed. These trainers go through years of training, but it doesn't always guarantee their safety. Roy Horn was an outfitter for his circus in the Mirage Hotel and Casino. He was doing his show as he would normally have when a 7-year-old tiger attacked him and bit his neck. Roy was immediately rushed to the hospital, where he lost an extreme amount of blood. However, Roy did survive, although he is partially paralyzed. This show was cancelled after this attack, which led to 267 crew members being laid off. Number 3. The Hogging Bag Wallace Circus was your typical early 20th century circus. They would ride by train for new shows from city to city. Although trains were the only way to get around, they weren't always the safest. This proved to be true on June 22, 1918, when the whole circus crew was going to the next show. Just behind their train was a Michigan Central Railroad troop train that was pulling 20 empty Pullman cars. This train was operated by a man named Alonzo Sargent. However, Alonzo was not the most responsible train driver, as he would drive after a severe lack of sleep. He was hooked on pills used to help his kidneys, and would also eat so much which would increase his tendencies to sleep even more. As he was driving the train, he fell asleep, causing him to miss numerous warning signals from the brakeman of the circus train. Alonzo plowed into the back of the circus train, which caused the death of 86 people, most of which were killed instantly. The circus train also caught on fire from the impact. There were approximately 127 people injured. Among the dead were the main circus performers. Alonzo somehow survived, but arrested shortly after. Number 2. Mary was a famous circus elephant in the early 20th century who performed for the Sparks world famous show Circus. She would play musical instruments, pitch baseballs, and stand on her head. She held this fame until one night in September of 1916. That night, Mary had killed her recently hired assistant trainer, Red Elridge, who also doubled as a janitor during the show. There are many speculations on how Mary killed Red, but the most popular story is that Red was poking at Mary's ear while she was reaching to eat a watermelon. The poking at Mary's ear caused her to go into a massive rage, and she grabbed Red with her trunk and stumped his head, eventually crushing it. Everyone in the stands were chanting to kill Mary, which was actually attempted that night. A local blacksmith by the name of Henchcock shot 5 rounds into Mary, with no effect. After this event, no one wanted to host the Sparks world famous shows if Mary was in the show, so the circus owner decided that the only way to fix this problem was to publicly execute Mary. On September 13, 1916, Mary was hung in front of the audience of 2,500 people. Number 1. The Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus was the largest circus in the United States in the mid-20th century. Its tent could fit up to 9,000 spectators. The circus had an act in Hartford, Connecticut on July 5, 1944, but it was postponed to the next day. For our superstitious viewers out there, it's apparently considered to be a very bad luck to postpone a show. This show had an audience of around 7,000 people. This is where the bad luck comes in. A small fire was spotted at the southeast end of the tent. When the ringmaster was telling everyone not to panic and to leave the tent, the power failed, so nobody could hear him. The fire spread very quickly. The tent used a paraffin wax agent as waterproofing. A total of approximately 168 people died, with another 700 people injured. Most injuries were caused because of the melting paraffin wax agent raining on top of people as opposed to the direct exposure to the fire. This is considered as one of the largest fire disasters in American history. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to us for more updates.